Welcome, everyone. Please sit down, get comfortable. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Before we begin, let me ask you something. How many of you woke up this morning already worrying about something? Go ahead, be honest. You can raise your hands. Yes, I see you. Most of us, right? Maybe it's work, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's something that hasn't even happened yet. That's what I want to talk with you about today. Here's what I've discovered in my years of practice, and I want to share this with you because it changed everything for me. There's this strange kind of freedom, I call it freedom, that comes the moment you stop trying to control everything. The very moment you release your grip on all those what ifs and what might go wrong, suddenly life begins to move again. Look at worry for a moment. Really look at it. It's like a cage made of shadows. Think about that. A cage made of shadows. It has no real substance, yet somehow it keeps us trapped in a future that doesn't even exist yet. It steals away the calm and strength you already carry within you right now, in this moment. But here's the beautiful part. When you begin to let go, when you finally choose to trust the rhythm of life instead of wrestling with it, something powerful happens. The current shifts. Life in its quiet wisdom starts aligning with you, not because you forced it, but because you finally made space for it to flow. So, today I want to share 7 teachings with you, 7 lessons from our Buddhist tradition that have transformed my own life and the lives of countless students I've worked with over the years. These aren't just theories or philosophical ideas. These are practical, powerful teachings that can help you step out of the grip of worry and into the peace that's been quietly waiting for you all along. Are you ready? Good. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Fear is a seed. Plant it and it grows. Now pay close attention to this first lesson, because this is foundational to everything else. In our Buddhist understanding, the energy you carry within becomes the world you see outside. Fear. Stay with me here. Fear isn't just an emotion, it's a lens. And the more you look through it, the more distorted your reality becomes. You want to know the irony? I've watched this happen thousands of times. When you fear something deeply, you begin to live as though it's already true. You unconsciously breathe life into it. You're literally creating what you're afraid of. Can you believe that? Let me give you a real example. Imagine you're afraid of losing your job. What happens? That fear seeps into everything you do. You hesitate, you second-guess yourself, you make yourself smaller. The anxiety clouds your judgment. You start to withdraw, and without even meaning to, listen to this carefully, you drift towards the very outcome you feared. You created it with your own fear. I've seen the same pattern in relationships over and over again. Someone fears abandonment, so what do? They cling too tightly, or they doubt constantly. And that very tension, that fear, pushes the other person away. Do you see what's happening? It's not fate working against you, it's fear working within you, creating your reality. So let me teach you something important. In Buddhism, we say the mind is like soil. Now, here's the thing, soil doesn't judge what you plant in it. Whether you plant seeds of fear or seeds of calm, the mind will help them grow. It doesn't discriminate. But you sitting here right now, you are the gardener. You get to choose what takes root. Now, I'm not standing here telling you to pretend everything is perfect. That's not what this is about. Life has real challenges. What I'm saying is this: shift your attention away from fear and toward presence. When fear rises in you, and it will rise, it always does, pause. Take a breath and ask yourself this simple question. Is this thought helping me build peace, or is it feeding panic? You are not powerless. Do you hear me? You are the creator of your inner landscape, and when your inner world changes, your outer world begins to reflect it. Let go of fear, and I promise you, I've seen this happen so many times. Watch how life begins to soften, open, and flow in ways you never expected. Lesson 2. True strength is found in surrender. Now, let me tell you something that's going to sound completely backwards at first. Everywhere you look in today's world, what are they telling you? Strength means control. Control your time, control your success, control the outcome. Push harder, plan more, hold on tighter. Am I right? You've heard this your whole life. But I want to offer you something radically different, something that's going to free you. Real strength, true strength, isn't about gripping tighter. It's about letting go, not giving up. No, I'm not talking about giving up. I'm talking about giving over the illusion that we can shape every moment, every person, every outcome with our will alone. That's the illusion I want you to see through. Surrender, in the Buddhist sense, is not weakness. Let me say that again. It is not weakness. It's a sacred release. It's the art of doing what you can, giving your best effort, and then stepping back with trust, allowing karma, allowing life's natural flow to unfold. Let me show you what I mean. Picture this. You're holding water in your palm. Now, the tighter you squeeze your hand, what happens to the water? It slips away faster and faster. But if your hand is open, relaxed, the water stays, doesn't it? That's surrender, not passive, not careless, just open. It's a quiet confidence that says, I've done my part. Now I trust life to meet me halfway. Here's what I've discovered. When we stop interfering, something beautiful happens. Our energy returns. Our mind becomes clear, really clear. We start noticing opportunities we were too anxious to see before. Help arrives from places we didn't expect. Doors open that we didn't even know existed. Life begins to work with us, not against us. Let me tell you, surrender is not an end. It's a beginning. It's the start of true freedom. And in that freedom, you don't lose power. You discover it. You discover the power that was there all along, just waiting for you to stop forcing everything. Lesson 3. Anxiety belongs to tomorrow. Peace belongs to now. Okay, now I want to remind you of something simple. So simple, but so profound. Anxiety cannot exist in the present moment. Did you hear that? It cannot exist here. It lives only in the mind's projections. What might happen, what could go wrong, what we fear is coming, but none of that is real. None of it. It's all just a movie playing in your head about the future. So when you feel anxious, and I want you to try this right now if you're feeling anxious, notice where your mind is. Where is it? It's racing ahead, isn't it? Building stories, spinning scenarios, dragging you into a world that doesn't yet exist. A world full of what-ifs and maybes. And while you're lost in that future, you miss the only place life truly exists, right here, right now. This moment, this breath you're taking right now, this is your home. And in this space, look around. You are okay. You are breathing. You are grounded. You are enough. Right now, in this moment, you are enough. We call this practice mindfulness, the gentle act of returning to now. And every time you return to this moment, you weaken anxiety's grip. Why? Because in the present there is nothing chasing you, no future to fear, only this still, quiet second where life is unfolding, one breath at a time. The mind may roar like a storm, but the present moment whispers. And the more you listen to that whisper, the more you realize something beautiful. Peace isn't something you have to find out there somewhere. It's already within you right now, buried beneath the noise, just waiting to be remembered. Lesson 4: The Burden of Imagined Fears. Let me ask you something. How much of what weighs on your mind actually happens? Think about it. Really think about it. So much of what keeps us up at night never even happens. I'm going to tell you something. Our greatest source of anxiety often isn't reality. It's imagination. We worry, we stress, we lose sleep over scenarios that never unfold. We carry fears like invisible stones in a backpack, dragging them through each day, weighing ourselves down, even though most of them never come to pass. Why does this happen? I'll tell you why. Because the human mind is like a novelist that never stops writing. It scripts endless what-ifs. It paints vivid pictures of problems that don't exist yet and maybe never will. It warns us of disasters, heartbreaks, failures that live only in thought, not in the present moment, not in reality. Let me ask you, how many times have you braced yourself for a difficult conversation that ended up being fine, or feared the worst about a situation that resolved itself peacefully? The storm rarely arrives the way we imagined it. Usually it doesn't arrive at all. This is the trap of worry. It distorts everything. It brings distant fears so close that we start reacting to illusions as if they're real truths. We're fighting ghosts. So I teach my students this: just because a thought appears in your mind doesn't mean it deserves your belief. The mind can create stories, elaborate stories, but we don't have to live inside all of them. Next time you catch yourself spiraling into anxiety, and you will, we all do, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself gently with compassion, is this actually happening right now, or is this just a thought? Is this real, or am I creating this? Often you'll realize you've been fighting shadows, not substance. Freedom begins when we return to this moment, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Let those imagined fears dissolve. What's real is almost always far gentler than what we fear, and when you stop living in the mind's predictions, life starts to feel lighter, clearer, and so much more peaceful. Lesson 5: Control blocks faith. Now here's a truth that might be hard to hear at first, but stay with me because it's deeply freeing. You can't hold the steering wheel and still believe the road will carry you. You can't do both. I remind my students all the time, control and faith are like two travelers heading in opposite directions. The more tightly you grip control, the further you drift from trust. And the more deeply you trust, the more you must let go. They cannot coexist in the same space. When you try to micromanage every part of your life, and I see this all the time, it's like saying to the universe, I don't believe you'll take care of me. I have to do everything myself. It's a subtle but powerful form of fear, the fear that without your constant supervision, everything will fall apart. But let me ask you, has that control ever truly brought you peace? Be honest with yourself. Often, the more we try to dominate outcomes, the more tangled we become in anxiety, tension, and exhaustion. Control might give you the illusion of safety, but underneath it's often driven by quiet panic. Faith, on the other hand, listen to this. Faith isn't passive, it's powerful. It whispers, I've done what I can. Now I trust the unfolding. It allows you to take action without being enslaved by the result. It welcomes mystery. It believes in timing you can't control and outcomes you may not fully understand yet. And that's okay. We call this the release of attachment. You act with intention, with full effort, but you surrender the obsession with how things must turn out. It's like planting a seed in the soil. You water it, you nurture it, but you don't yank at it every day trying to speed up its growth, do you? Real growth takes trust in the unseen roots working beneath the surface. So ask yourself right now, are you holding on so tightly that you've forgotten how to trust? Lesson 6. Letting go expands your life. Friends, here's something I've learned through many years of practice, and I want to share this with you. When you release what you cannot control, you make room for what you can create. It's that simple and that profound. Worry doesn't protect you, it restricts you. It's like walking through life with your fists clenched, bracing for impact every moment. But when you loosen that grip, when you shift your focus to what's truly yours, your thoughts, your choices, your kindness, your responses, and release what was never meant to be held so tightly, something remarkable happens, something opens up. Picture this with me. You're standing in a river. The more you try to cup the water in your hands, the faster it slips through your fingers, right? But when you relax, when you simply float, the river carries you. That's the essence of surrender right there. The more you release the grip of fear, the more room you make inside yourself, room for courage, for creativity, for joy. Letting go is expansive. It's not about becoming smaller, it's about becoming bigger. It's bold. It invites you back into the present where life is actually happening. Not in the what ifs, but in the right now. Ask yourself this question. How much energy do you spend each day worrying about things you can't control? Really add it up. And now imagine, what if you poured that same energy into creating something, into connecting with someone, into trusting the process? When you stop trying to force life into your blueprint, your rigid plan of how everything should be, and begin to dance with its rhythm instead, something beautiful happens. You feel supported by something greater. The natural wisdom of existence itself begins to hold you. Letting go isn't weakness. Let me say this clearly. It's bravery. It's the strength to stop shrinking and the courage to start living with an open heart. So right now, take a breath with me. Breathe in, breathe out, feel the weight lift, and remember, you don't need to hold it all. You were never meant to hold it all. Freedom begins the moment you choose to let go. Lesson 7. Life begins to flow when you step aside. Now we come to the last lesson, and this might be the most powerful one of all. Life functions best when we stop trying to control every inch of it. I know that sounds counterintuitive. I know everything in you might want to resist this, but hear me out. The more we meddle, the more resistance we create. The more we grip, the more chaos we invite into our lives. But when we learn to step back, not out of neglect, not out of laziness, but from a place of deep trust, something extraordinary begins to happen. Life starts moving on its own, with a rhythm far wiser than any of our plans. I know this idea can be unsettling. We've been taught from childhood that control equals safety, that without constant effort, correction, and micromanagement, everything will collapse. So what do? We interfere. We overanalyze every conversation. We anticipate problems that haven't arisen. We chase outcomes that haven't matured. We inject ourselves into every little detail, believing that if we don't, we'll fall behind or fail. But that relentless interference creates more friction than flow. It drains our energy, muddles our clarity, and leaves us burnt out from trying to manage what was never ours to manage in the first place. So I want to offer you a different way. a gentler path. By releasing the need to interfere, we make space for life to unfold with its own intelligence. Just as a stream naturally finds its course through the landscape, your life can navigate its way forward if you stop damming it with fear and control. Think of all the times, and I want you to really reflect on this, think of all the times you've tried to force something into being, a relationship, a job, a decision. You pushed and pushed and pushed. What happened? You watched it fall apart or backfire, didn't you? Now think of those moments when you surrendered, when you took a breath and let things be, when you stopped forcing. What happened then? Things worked out surprisingly well, didn't they? Sometimes even better than you could have imagined. Your worry, your control, your constant mental grasping, they're like rocks you keep throwing into a stream. They disturb the current, but when you remove the obstacles, the water flows smoothly again. Life does the same thing. Life wants to flow. Interfering doesn't make life safer. It makes it harder. It turns possibility into pressure. And in trying to control everything, you often close the door to better outcomes that could have arrived if only you had stepped aside and let them. So, how do you apply this? Start with observation. Just observe yourself. Notice when you're clinging too tightly, when you're obsessively checking your phone for a reply, when you're rethinking a decision for the 10th time, when you're pushing someone or something to move faster than it's ready to move. And then ask yourself this simple question: what would happen if I loosened my grip? What if I did what's necessary and then let the rest go? Non-interference doesn't mean apathy. This is important. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means discerning what is truly yours to act upon and surrendering the rest. You plant the seed, you water it, you tend to it, but you don't yank on it every day, hoping it will grow faster. Growth, whether in nature or in your life, follows its own timing. It cannot be forced without consequence. Let me give you an image. Imagine you're holding a fragile butterfly in your hands. If you tighten your fingers, out of fear it might fly away. What happens? You crush it. But if you relax and open your palm, it may stay longer. It may even return. Even if it flies off, you gave it the space it needed to be alive. Your goals, your relationships, your peace of mind, they all need room to breathe. The more you try to possess them, the more they slip through your grasp. The more you allow them space, the more they begin to flourish naturally. And then, listen to this, then the shift happens. Life begins to support you. The right people cross your path at exactly the right time. The right opportunities reveal themselves. New solutions emerge without you forcing them. You stop feeling like everything rests on your shoulders. And that's when your energy lifts, your breath deepens, your heart softens. You realize that what you feared wouldn't happen without your interference was never meant to be manipulated in the first place. Fear is usually at the root of our need to interfere. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of not being enough. But here's the deeper truth. Life doesn't demand perfection from you. It asks for trust, a quiet, steady trust in the unfolding of your path. You don't need to be the director of every scene. Sometimes you just need to play your part and let the story reveal itself. So I'm going to invite you to do something right now. Pause with me. Take a moment to reflect. Think of one area in your life where you've been interfering too much. Maybe it's a conversation you keep rehearsing in your mind. Maybe it's a decision you're forcing because you're afraid to wait. Maybe it's a goal you're suffocating with constant worry. Ask yourself, what would it look like to let go here? not out of laziness, not out of not caring, but out of deep, profound trust. The moment you release your grip, life has space to move. It begins to rise to meet you in ways that logic can't explain. That's when synchronicities start appearing. That's when grace enters your life. That's when you feel carried, not by your effort alone, but by something so much bigger than yourself. I want you to remember this. We're not here to conquer life. We're here to live in harmony with it. Life is not a machine to be controlled. It's a flow to be felt. You can't steer the ocean, but you can learn to ride the waves. You can't force the tide, but you can align with it. Everything I've shared with you today has been preparing you for this deeper knowing. What you cling to, you trap. What you surrender, you liberate. And what you stop interfering with begins to flourish. You don't have to figure everything out. You just need to take one step at a time, breathe deeply, and let go of the illusion that your control is what keeps the world turning. It's not. The world keeps turning. Life keeps flowing. Let today be the beginning of a new way of being for you. Release one worry. Trust one unknown, and allow life to meet you with something better than you could have ever forced into existence. Because when you stop pushing, you begin to receive. When you stop interfering, life begins to truly work, not against you, but with you. My final words to you. So, my friends, let me leave you with this. Life is not a battle to be won, it's a rhythm to be danced with. And the more you try to control it, the more you miss the grace that arises when you simply trust. Our Buddhist teachings don't ask you to abandon your responsibilities. They don't ask you to stop caring about your life. What I'm inviting you to do is let go of the weight that was never yours to carry in the first place. I'm asking you to soften the grip, release the fear, and allow space for life to unfold in its own mysterious and beautiful way. So, as you leave here today and move forward into your life, remember this. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to fight the current. Your power lies not in control, but in alignment. Alignment with the natural flow of life. Take a breath, trust the timing, and know this: when you stop interfering, you step into a life of clarity, peace, and deeper purpose. If this message resonated with you today, if something I said touched your heart, I would be so grateful if you would give this video a thumbs up. It really helps these teachings reach more people who need them. Subscribe to our channel for more insights grounded in Buddhist wisdom and timeless teachings. And please, if you know someone who's been overwhelmed, stuck, or constantly trying to figure it all out on their own, share this with them. It might be exactly the reminder they need today. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me, what's one thing you're ready to stop interfering with? What are you ready to release? I read every comment and I would love to hear your thoughts. Until we meet again, breathe deeply, trust fully, and walk gently with life. Thank you for being here with me today. With all my compassion and peace, Tenzin Norbu.